There's four guys sitting in a pub in Pattaya. It could be my pub, or it could be anybody else's pub for that matter. And they're sitting there, and there's no girls around, and they're just sitting at the bar talking to each other, and they're just comparing notes, maybe on the night before or how their holidays are going. And they're talking about a certain lady they might have seen the night before or the night before that, and then the smartphones come out and they're passing around pictures, and I mean, not literally, but the testosterone is dripping off the walls, right? And then one of the guys who's just sitting there quietly, he just turns around to the others and he says, "My girl's different." And that saying is always met with derision. If it's not met with derision when he actually says it and guys are laughing and they're all going, "Oh yeah, we know about your girl," yeah? And they probably do know about his girl, and they probably do know quite a lot about her that he doesn't know about. Or they wait until he's gone to the toilet and they all start laughing at him, right? But this saying, "My girl's different," is always met with kind of derision here in Pattaya, because it's seen that, well, the girls here, okay, so just all the same. So let's have a look at this guy, right? And this is completely a made-up character. I don't know this person. This person isn't anybody in particular, but I'm just making this guy up, right? Let's have a look at his backstory. Well, he's probably been married in England in a loveless and intimateless marriage for 20 years, and he's got divorced, and it might have been him who called the divorce because his wife looked after their two children and they're grown up, and she went to work and she's met another guy at work and now she's jacked him off. Or his wife has been sitting on the sofa during the day and watching Loose Women, and she's a strong, independent woman. And by the way, girls, there's nothing wrong, right? I'm not having a go at strong, independent women, right? But she's a strong, independent woman, and she's decided he's out the door and she's on the market again. And so he finds himself maybe in his late 40s, early 50s. He's put his life and soul into his job. It is now his pension. He's probably looking like that's going to be taken away from him, or certainly a large chunk of it. And he's got to pay for his children, which he loves his children, and he has no issue paying for his children, but sometimes he feels that maybe his children don't really love him as much as he loves them, and maybe their mother is getting to them a little bit. We all know this type of guy, don't we? Right? And so this guy now, he's on his own, he's single in the UK, and he decides to go and put himself out there, yeah? Single, ready to mingle and all this sort of stuff, and he's out there on the dating apps, and you know, the inhumanity of him swiping left or swiping right, I don't know how it goes, I've never really used them that much, and just waiting for a match week after week after week. Or he goes to a singles night and nothing happens, he just sits there on his own, and then on the way back home he stops and he gets a massive curry because he's depressed, and so he eats himself to death, right? Anyway, this guy is the guy that lands on that bar stool in Pattaya, and he says, "My girl's different," right? And what's happened? Well, he's come to Thailand, and maybe it's not the first girl that he's met. Maybe he's had a shorter time with a couple of other ladies. Didn't really feel there was much there. Maybe he felt they were just going through the motions. And then he's met somebody, and it could be the tiniest of little minute details. It could be that he showed them the photos of his children. He showed her the photos of his children, and she took an interest, or she took an interest in his house back home, or they support the same football team, or there was something, but there was a connection there with this particular woman, and he's noticed that this particular woman kind of looks after him a little bit better than the others have. He's being treated with respect and affection like he has never been treated, certainly not by his wife, and certainly probably not by any Western woman either. And he likes it, right? And he's growing on this woman, and he decides that this woman is somebody that he's going to spend a lot more time with, and he decides his mates can go down sort of 6, he's not really bothered. He's happy with his girl because his girl is different. And guess what? To him, his girl is different because she's different than his wife, the girlfriends he's had in the UK, maybe girls he's dated in the UK that are like in their 40s or 50s. And he's different to the girls that he's had here in Pattaya. She's shown him a little bit of love and affection, and he feels good about himself. And I'm not... Look, men have got a really, really difficult time these days. We can all agree on that, I'm sure, right? We're being squeezed and squeezed and squeezed all the time. And this guy, rightly or wrongly, has come to Pattaya. He's met this girl. This girl makes him feel nice. And we're there to judge. Is this guy vulnerable? Oh, yes. Oh, yes. This guy is incredibly vulnerable, right? Because the guys that are laughing at him because he said his girl is different are probably right. You know, she's been around the block. She's come to the table with a hell of a lot more experience in these matters than he has. And, you know, it can be explosive. Guys are very, very quick to be judgmental of guys that are in this situation. And they want to tell him how to spend his money. Now, call me a little bit old-fashioned, but it's your money. You can spend your money however you want, right? These guys are never there looking over his shoulder when he's in the car showroom and he's looking at a brand new sports car that he's buying. He's 50 years old and he's going through a midlife crisis, right? They're not telling him not to do it then, are they? But they're quite happy to let him know that he shouldn't be hanging around with this woman. And so this is the situation that this guy finds himself in. Is this person like somebody that's going to have a long-term relationship with this girl? Well, there ain't a lot of YouTubers that will say this, especially YouTubers from Pattaya, right? But I'll say it, right? In my experience, relationships like this can work. I have seen countless times. Actually, I'll rephrase that. I can count a few times when these relationships have worked. Of course, the vast majority of these relationships fizzle out and don't end up in long-term things, and they're unsuccessful. But guess what? The vast majority of relationships in the West end up in a negative way as well. So who's there to blame? I do really hope that we can all look at these guys who say that their girl is different and give him a little bit of slack. He's having a good time. Can we honestly say that we haven't been in that situation ourselves, where we've been dazzled by a woman who's shown us a little bit of affection, and from our focus, our girl is different? If you've enjoyed the video, please subscribe. You can come and meet me every day. I'm at Le Pub on Soy Diamond, just off Walking Street. We're there from 4 p.m. There is a members area of this channel if you want to help support the channel with the equipment and the software that we use to bring it to you. There's extra live streams in the members area, and also a vlog all about my life running a bar here in Thailand, and actually owning a bar here in Thailand, right? Don't take my advice. My financial advice is to buy a bar in Thailand, right? So don't listen to me. But if you want to come in and be a part of the membership community, then please do so. I've been walking on Rhompu Market this afternoon. It looks good. I have to come down here one evening, maybe do a live stream. But for me, Mr. Egg here in Jomtien, take care, everyone. Bye-bye.